Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
So what brings you in today?
I just wanted to talk to you about some stuff regarding wanting to make a change in my life revolving around my exercising.
Okay, so you want to exercise a little bit more?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Okay, cool. So what brought you to wanting to achieve this goal?
I just realized that it's been about 4 years. I had a back injury in 2013, and I went from being really active to not at all. And even though I don't feel super unhealthy, I've just noticed that I'd like to become more active. I think part of it is that I can lack confidence in how I look. And so what I struggle with when I think of exercising is whether or not I'm doing it because I want to be healthy, or am I doing it because I want to feel like I look better.
Okay, so what I'm getting is that you had this obstacle of having a back injury previously, and so you've kind of struggled with getting back into it, and that you kind of want to also kind of fix that so that you can feel more confident. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And so what are other obstacles? Do you have school? Do you have work?
Yeah, I work 30 hours a week and I have school, so I'm really busy. And also I'm seeing a naturopath as well because I am tired all the time to an unnatural kind of, it feels unnatural. That's just me amount. So then when I maybe do have time, I lack that confidence and energy to go out and actually do something. But yeah, my schedule is really tight.
Okay. So the positive about that is you do have like some extra like room that you could work around, and that's good. And that you're actually going to see that to help you out. But would you be willing to use that extra time to exercise?
I would be. It's just getting that motivation to actually, I come from home from work and I'm really tired, and I know I have to go to work. I have to go to school shortly after, so I want to spend that time like laying in bed watching Netflix, not exercising.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely willing to do that. It's just getting to that next step.
Okay. Yeah, and are there things that motivate you to exercise? Like, would be better if you're with a person that would kind of make you go to it every day, or every other day, or?
That's funny because I do think having somebody there to be there would be really helpful, but at the same time, I'm super self-conscious of how I look, and I feel like you're working out. You're not supposed to look like your best, and so there are certainly people like my mom. I feel like I could work out with her, and that's something that kind of spiked this is she's been exercising and dieting, and she's lost like 40 pounds in like 4 months. And so I see her and I'm like, oh, I can do that if she can do it. So I feel like I could work out with her, but someone I want to work out with is my boyfriend, but I feel really self-conscious when I'm around him, even though he's really encouraging of how I look and telling me not to worry about that.
Yeah. So what I'm getting is that you would be willing to work out with your mom, and you would feel comfortable and confident with that. But I mean, you would really love to work out with your boyfriend if you were a little more confident in yourself. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, and also him and I don't really have time because he lives like 40 minutes away, so we only see each other on weekends. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he works out a lot more than I do, and so he's really good about encouraging me, and like, oh, your endorphins kick in and you're a lot happier. So he's really great in saying like what benefits are to working out, not just, oh, you'll look better. It's you'll feel better,
which is awesome.
So I wanted, it is, and I want to do that, but I think there's something inside me that's scared that I don't know.
So what if you, and this you could say no, but what if we kind of got you onto like a schedule of working out with your mom for a while and boosting your confidence of, hey, I can actually do this, and your self-confidence will go up and your endorphins will raise with someone that you're familiar with and you know that won't judge you. And then you would move on once you're a little more confident working out with your boyfriend. Would that maybe be something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I think I like that easing into it almost. Yeah.
Yeah, and how much do you exercise nowadays, if you mind?
Honestly, this last week I did like a half an hour workout, but other than that, I have not worked out.
Okay.
At all in a long
So
time.
maybe kind of ease your way into it so you don't start like super hard.
Yeah.
It would be a good idea. So
Yeah.
maybe our goal to set, which would be up to you to accomplish it, would be maybe like starting out maybe 2 days a week of exercising for an hour each time with your mom maybe, or by yourself, just to kind of gain that self-confidence, kind of raise your willingness to exercise. And then once we do that, then you'll kind of gain that more confidence possibly, get better at exercising, and then we could raise more, maybe 3 or 4 times a week. And then possibly moving it with your boyfriend if you guys have extra time on weekends or things like that.
Yeah.
Would you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. And before we go, I want to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident, 1 being not so confident, 10 being really confident, how confident would you be in making this change?
How confident I am in making this change?
Yeah.
Like, am I confident in myself? 3 or 4, probably. If I'm being honest, 3.
Okay. So, and why do you say a 3 instead of maybe like a 1 or a 2?
Because I know that I'm not completely lacking motivation to do this. This is something that's constantly on my mind, especially with summer coming up. You know, you see all the magazines about time to get that summer body, and I'm like, oh, great. And every year it happens. Every year around this time that happens. I get that spike of motivation, but then I kind of fall through. So I know I have the motivation, but I think that also plays into why I'm at a 3, is that I'm kind of judging myself off of past experiences where I've had this motivation, but haven't done anything.
Okay. So maybe what we could do is we could, in our next session, you could come back and kind of help with your self-care a little bit, talk about your confidence and things like that, to make you feel like you're good and comfortable with yourself a little bit more. And then maybe that would be able to raise your confidence level of making that change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what would it take to make, and you might not know this yet, but what maybe would you think would it take to maybe get to a 4 or a 5?
I think like what you said, getting myself to a place where I'm better, I'm able to kind of look at myself in a better way. I don't, it's so difficult. I think maybe getting better at having that motivation when I'm in the moment, because a lot of times, like my mom will be like, do you want to work out? And I'm like, oh, I have homework, because I do. But then a lot of times, part of the time I'm doing homework, then I get distracted. So then I'm like, oh, that could have been time where I was actually doing something. Yeah. So maybe recognizing moments while I'm in the moment of, hey, I could take this time to go, like walk on the treadmill, something really simple.
Yeah.
So maybe making exercise less of this big scary thing and more, is this actually attainable?
Yeah, so kind of what I mean is making small steps to get that exercise and finding those little times where you may have some spare time. And maybe if